Hey, this is Jet from JechtSpencer.com, and today I'm going to be doing a book review for you. Today's book has actually caused quite a stir and a lot of controversy, so I'm very, very excited to review it. Today's book is The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. I really love this book. It's amazing. Essentially, it breaks down intergender sexual communication as well as giving you a much more fundamental understanding of a baseline level of the social dynamics in terms of the dating sphere. With all this mass amount of disinformation out there about what women actually want, what women are actually polarized to, what does it actually mean to be a masculine, a dominant, a confident man in today's age, and ultimately enables them to have a dating life that they themselves are in control over and no longer at the whims of their environment. If you're coming from a point where you've been fed the social narrative for so long and you are under this spell that women are these magical creatures and these fairies, and you see them as basically goddesses and you don't see them for the humans and the natural instincts that they truly are, this book is going to wake you the fuck up. You might actually read this book and get pissed off. You might be angry, you might be depressed, you might feel like just lashing out, because the majority of the mainstream narrative that's fed to us on a daily basis is just a complete and utter bullshit lie. And essentially, this is like waking up from the Matrix. And not everybody wants to wake up. So this is kind of the reason why the community that has been sort of built in and around this book, The Rational Male, is known as only the Red Pill. In the very, very beginning, he hits us with a very hard punching truth. The reality that there is no such thing as the one. There's no such thing as the one. There are good ones and there are bad ones. There is no the one. Essentially, when people think of the one, he has a definition of it, and he calls it Oneitis, and this is what it is: an unhealthy romantic obsession with a single person, usually accompanied by unreciprocated affection and completely unrealistic idealization of said person. Which is basically saying that you are completely obsessed about one person, you throw them up on this huge pedestal about how great they are for you, only to find out they no longer reciprocate to you and either put you in the friend zone or simply shoo you away like a pest. He also breaks down the concept of women's sexual strategy. Those two strategies come under two different paradigms. The first one being a short-term sexual strategy, and the second one being a long-term sexual strategy. The short-term sexual strategy is when she's looking for good genes, and the long-term sexual strategy is when she's looking for a good dad. These two strategies aren't usually, sometimes they are, but not usually the same man. So when she's doing the short-term sexual strategy, what she's looking for is alpha genes, essentially. She's looking for a tall man. She's looking for a muscular man. She's looking for a man who takes care of himself, who's fit, who's confident, who's determined, who's dominant. These are the types of characteristics that she understands if she was to pass down these particular genes, those genes would then pass to her children, who would have a better chance of mating in the next life. Then she's also seeking a long-term sexual strategy where she's searching for a provider or a father. And this man might not necessarily be muscular. He might not necessarily be tall. He might not necessarily be secure with himself or determined or confident or dominant or anything like that. But the one thing that separates him is of his resources that he provides. There have been thousands of social experiments. You've probably seen them before, where a woman comes up to a man and asks if they can fuck them. And then a man goes up to a woman and asks her if he can fuck them. And the results are fucking staggering. So how can a man possibly compete with that? When women can simply go up to a man and have sex like this or start a relationship like this, then how is it that a man can possibly compete? And it begins like this. Men can derive their own confidence from abundance, but the only way that you are able to secure abundance is spinning plates. What is spinning plates? Spinning plates is just a way of saying dating multiple women, because it is this level of abundance that allows men to walk away from destructive and negative relationships. Because when you're coming from a form of scarcity, basically what happens is if you have one woman that you've been pursuing, then you have a relationship with that woman, and that woman starts treating you like shit, starts disrespecting you, starts treating you like you are not worthy of her time, then you will not walk away from that situation because you are in a level of scarcity where she is your only viable option. But if you have multiple options, if you have multiple women, if you're dating a variety of different people, you have that willingness to walk away. And it is that willingness to walk away that makes you so extremely irresistible to the woman in the first place. It is her imagination and her competition that she is up against that will drive her to be the best possible version of herself. Women want to be with men that other women want to fuck. And if you are in a long-term relationship or a monogamous relationship, that's not to say that she wants you to cheat on her, but she wants to know that you have the capacity to cheat on her. You have the options to do it. It is those very reasons why she finds you so irresistible in the first place. He says this: women would rather share a high-value male than a faithful loser. Let that sink in for a moment. You have to internalize as a man that you are the prize. You cannot chase. You have to be that beacon of validation for the woman, not the other way around. He says that women complement a man's life. They are never the focus of it. The reason why women find you so captivating is because you have a purpose beyond the feminine itself. You have to understand your own value. He talks about what is the sexual marketplace. And essentially what the sexual marketplace is this. Every single person is within the sexual marketplace whether they want to be or not. If they want to be in the dating sphere, if they want to be someone who's sexually active, if they want to be someone who is in relationships, they have to become part of said marketplace. So what is some things that you can begin doing today that will instantly, or at least over time, help you gradually move your way up in sexual market value? The first thing you can begin doing is this. Start lifting weights. Even though you might not be able to change your face, you might not be able to change your, particular look, but you can do one thing. You have complete 100% control of your body. And one thing that women find absolutely irresistible is muscles. Big, strong men. I don't care what anyone says about the game. I've been fat, I've had a six-pack, I've been in between. And I can tell you with 100% confidence and 100% certainty that when I'm in better shape, when I have a six-pack, when I'm bigger, stronger, faster, more dominant, more muscular, and my testosterone's just shooting through the fucking roof, I have a lot more success with women. Another thing that you can do is to begin to shake up your fashion. Begin to look. Begin to find what looks good in the magazines, find clothes that fit you, and wear them. I see too many guys going out there, going out to the clubs, going out to the coffee shops, going out to the malls to go talk to women, and they look like fucking scrubs. You're not going to get anyone's attention if you're walking around with your fucking piece of shit t-shirt, your too baggy jeans, your shitty shoes that you bought for $5 fucking, and your fucking Salvation Army hat. You have to fucking look the fucking part. Then you can begin modifying your behaviors. You can start taking more action, start taking more risks, be willing to go against that rejection, be willing to get in the flow state, understanding social awareness, becoming socially cognizant, being in the life of the party, no longer seeking validation, coming from a place of purpose, being able to become powerful, having actions, being able to just go into any social environment and dominate. It's fucking amazing, but it takes time. And one thing you'll notice is that when you begin to implement these changes into your life, when you begin to decide that you want to raise yourself on the social ladder, raise yourself on the sexual marketplace, raise yourself in terms of status and social hierarchy, people that have been around you for a very long time are going to try to pull you the fuck down. The worst thing a crab can do is jump for the edge of the bucket, because all the other crabs are going to try to pull you down there with them. And the funny thing is this: your friends or your family members, people that you think would be extremely elated and jubilant about you making progress into becoming a better, self-satisfying person, are going to be the people that attack you the hardest. Your enemies don't have fucking time for you. It is your friends, it is your close acquaintances, or even family members that are going to see those changes and try to pull you the fuck back into your beta behavior. Rise above that, rise above the tide, and eventually they will have to succumb and submit to your newfound purpose and glory. Frame is everything. Now, what exactly is frame? A frame essentially is the reality in which the world is viewed as. So, rather than trying to jump into the girl's frame and seeing the world as she sees it, your job is to take her, bring her into your frame, and take her along for the ride. If there is anything a woman wants, it's that she wants a man to take the lead. And essentially, this is all that this means. It is you, as a man, leading the interaction, leading her on an adventure, leading her on a seductive process so that she can feel comfortable in just being herself and melting into the moment with you so you can have an amazing time. Never allow a woman to control the birth. They might just say one day, just take the condom off. I'm on birth control. Don't listen to this. Please, for the love of God, don't listen to this. Never take that out of your own hands, because birth control in and of itself is proactive. Condoms are reactive. Fuck it, I'll just tell you. Okay, so essentially, I've had women in my life who I've met, who after we've had sex, I've gone to the bathroom and I've left condoms on the floor. And she, a couple women actually, proceeded to pick up the condom and try to inseminate themselves. Really fucked up shit. I have no choice about that. Clearly, we both agreed on condoms. And now that I am no longer in the room, she's taken it upon herself that my genes are so valid that she's willing to take a condom off the ground and try to impregnate herself. So never take that for granted. It's very, very important that you should have just as much a say in the productive rights of yourself as the woman does. You should never attempt to reconstruct an old relationship. It is way better to just start brand new. If a relationship ended in the past, there's a reason why it ended. And there are so many beautiful women, so many wonderful minds, so many just radiant and amazing girls that are on this planet. Don't waste your fucking time trying to claw back into an old relationship. And I know it's hard, and believe me, I've done it before. I am not infallible either. When emotions come into it and you're not thinking logically, you're just reaching and grasping for straws, trying to get back to the way things were. But the reality is that girl that you were dating before is fucking dead. She no longer exists. She is on a completely different paradigm, a completely different mind, and it will never be the same. So just get over it and find a new girl who is a much better fit for you. There's a reason why guys get the "let's just be friends" line, and it's because they are not relating as a man relates to a woman. They are not giving a level of sexual polarity. Essentially what they're doing is they're trying to fly under the radar as a nice guy, only to come in at the very end and say, "Surprise, I got a dick." If a girl ever says, "let's just be friends," and you do not want to just be friends, and you think that if you said, "oh no, that's fine, we can just be friends," that maybe you can convince her later down the line, don't waste your fucking time. Just say, "no, we can't just be friends," and walk the fuck away. It sounds harsh and it sounds callous, but if you're someone who is seeking a relationship or multiple relationships or dating multiple girls, Do not waste your time on women that don't find you sexually attractive. If you want to change this part of your life, you have to be willing to make the changes in yourself. Don't wait for things to get easier. It's not going to be easier. And while you might not be the most good-looking guy, or the tallest guy, or the strongest guy, there are things that are in your control that you can do to begin to raise your own sexual market value, whether it's going to the gym, raising your testosterone, fixing your style, getting yourself a nice haircut, being able to change your behaviors and walk into a room with authority and confidence, and being able to socialize and lead and catalyze an amazing time for everyone in the venue. It is these types of massive changes you have to be willing to take if you want to have a successful dating life. I know some of these concepts that I broke down are very, 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 let me grab the book, shocking to a lot of people. And I really only touched the surface. So once again, the book is The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. Still don't know if I'm butchering his name or not. Apologize for that. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, like, and or comment. Once again, I give the book 4.5 stars. This is Jet from JechtSpencer.com. And as always, good fortune to you, my friend. You know, a lot of people would rather just live in the Matrix. They don't want to see the truth for what it is. But fuck it.